What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today I'm going to talk about Ruth and Boaz. This is a new Netflix film. It is produced by Tyler Perry, and it stars Soraya. I don't know who that is. It kind of sounds like a prescription drug commercial, like, don't take Soraya if you're allergic to it. Soraya may cause loss of limb motion. I don't know, but kind of has that vibe to it. And I'm really familiar with, like most Tyler Perry movies, it does have Felicia Rashad in it, so there's an anchor here for me in terms of also Babyface is in this. But as far as the leads, I don't know. I always love to be honest and upfront about things, and going into Ruth and Boaz, I did not know anything about this at all. Found out it was Tyler Perry when the Tyler Perry logo came up. I wasn't logistically thinking, my God, has he had another film this year? Because Can't Stop, Won't Stop, you know? Luckily, he's not directing this, nor did he write it. So this is just something that was produced, presumably used his Tyler Perry Studios in Georgia, I would assume. So we have something that has vibes, but is actually made a lot better than a lot of his films, because he's lost really a lot of his skill over the course of the years due to, I think, being sort of trapped inside of a bubble with a lack of influx of constructive criticism, just sort of shutting yourself off and not really listening and being open to changes that can be made, and being like, well, I made $1 billion, so I must be great at it. Okay. I also, this is faith-based, and while I would say that I grew up in churches, I did not, this is not my thing. I don't go there regularly. My use of language would give you an indication of that, but yeah, it's not something that I do on the regular. So the story of Ruth and Boaz, did not realize that was biblical until I did a modicum of research on this film to find out that, oh, it's loosely based on a Bible story. Cool. And I do say loosely because even the people who have seen the movie and are familiar with the Bible story are like, this is not like 100%, but it keeps sort of like the core value, I guess. But I can't really compare that. So it's like based on the book by, well, I didn't read the book being the Bible. I, no, I've not read the damn thing cover to cover. So it just did not a thing. So I'm more of a greatest hits type of person. I know from the big stories and the big quotes, and I sat through certain, somehow in all the time that I went to church, nobody was like, hey, you want to hear about Ruth and Boaz? I was like, well, okay, tell me the story. So I totally thought Ruth was just an R&B recording artist who is looking to escape her label deal and her sketchy boyfriend and start a new life. And eventually she would find a winemaker who would show her what true love was, because that's what this movie is. So it's a romantic drama. It's about 90 minutes. Felicia Rashad plays the mother that Ruth goes back to, sort of the mother figure. There's some criminal enterprises here. She has some family members. I'm like explaining things but not explaining things, because I guess a lot of these things tie into how the biblical story, but then if you modernize it and then you throw in some like hip hop music and some country, and that's wrap that all together, you get this movie. And give it a little bit of a Tyler Perry vibe, but done better. This is like somebody who has watched Tyler Perry movies and actually would be able to make them better than Tyler Perry makes them. So I don't know this director, Alana something. She needs to be Tyler Perry's new like consigliere, um, and just tell him, just advise him. Actually, just start directing everything for Tyler and let him slap his name on it, and also direct your own things. But I mean, like totally ghost direct for Tyler because films will be better and the actors who are in them will be better directed, all those kind of things, the things that aren't happening in his movies. He has a tendency to just sort of offer careers to just really anybody, but he doesn't really know how to direct his actors, so he has a whole lot of actors who are giving like really uh not great performances. Whereas in this movie, I actually didn't have a problem with the actors, thought they were fine. But if you watch something like Divorce in the Black, you have actors who are just really like over the top, or they don't, they, I don't know what acting school they went to. Like, it's just really hard to get through everything, like certain scenes, the dramatic weight in them. The opening of Divorce in the Black is just nonsense. Um, so just to pick off one of his more recent streaming titles. And also, he can't send things to theaters anymore. Nobody wants to see Tyler Perry movie in theaters. They can see them every 3 months on a streaming service. So what's the draw? What is the draw anymore? He's just putting them out. It seems like I crap all over his ideas, but I do have a positive review of a Tyler Perry movie on the Tomato Meter. I just don't care anymore. But this director could make me care. This process of outsourcing and lending your studios and starting to find new voices who you can produce and you can direct their stuff. There you go. Tyler, you found your thing. You found your calling is to find these other voices who are inherently more appropriate for the task at hand and better at directing and have an idea of how to convey and get performances from their actors, um, and screenwriters who write better story. Is this movie great? No. No, it's not. No, it's not a great movie. Do not misunderstand me. This is not the best thing that I've seen this year. It's not like Oscar bait. It's nothing like that. But this is exactly what we need more of in streaming, are just sort of simple, easy to take. That was fine. I liked it. It was good. I would recommend it type of watches. It's 90 minutes. You're in, you're out. It's not going to be memorable. You're not going to watch it 10,000 times. It's not one of those movies. It's not some sort of like generational revelation and experience at all. But in a world of good versus bad, rotten versus fresh, thumbs up, thumbs down, this is all good stuff, man. This is fine. Um, could I hold myself to a higher standard of well, the artist in the films, the artistry is not there. It's a little derivative of previous works and feels quite similar. And they're not really challenging characters, and of course, it's adapted from a Bible story. It's a modern day retelling. Maybe the bar is low, but I kind of set the bar as, did I enjoy it? Did I not enjoy it? I think that's the question, because that's the question most people ask themselves when they're done with the movie. Did I enjoy it? Did I not enjoy it? And then there's sort of like a theological debate about like, what does this mean in the greater, arc of cinema? Is this, is this breathless? Did we reinvent? Is this some sort of French New Wave that's come before us? Are we redefining no, we're not redefining what cinema is. It's just a random film on Netflix. But you know what? It's one of the better random films on Netflix. It's just fine. It's perfectly fine. If I wouldn't want to watch it immediately again, but years down the line, if I was sitting there with some people and I was like, "What do you want to watch?" and they're just like, "I don't know. I'm seeing Ruth and Boaz. I'd be like, okay. You know, I'm not going to be like searching it out to watch it again. I'm not rushing to get into this one more time. But also at the same time, if somebody else was like, oh, I'd be like, I didn't hate it. I'd watch it again. Sure. So what's wrong with creating those kind of experiences, especially in the faith-based world, which for so many years was having such a hard time? And God loved the Christians, but they were trying to run around and be like, oh, these films are great. And it's like, I've seen the Omega Code. The Omega Code is a travesty unto film. It's a really bad movie. Casper Van Dien couldn't act his way out of a paper bag. It's a terrible movie, but that was sort of like the pinnacle of Christian entertainment at its time. We've evolved so much now where these movies are actually getting production values. You know, studios started to see that there was an audience for faith-based cinema, and so they kind of took it away from these like under budget sort of, I don't know, untalented directors and actors, and found a way to channel the same stories but with better production value, so that you're still getting the message, and also a wholesome experience. And this came through first with a lot of mainstream films like Heaven is for Real and Miracles from Heaven, and The Shack, you know, a couple films like that came through that were studio films, but very much leaned in a certain direction. Of course, you could say Mel Gibson's Passion of the Christ feels like a really obvious choice, but I think to credit him a little bit, I think he started moving things in a direction, as did Tyler Perry initially. When you go back and look, he just leaned way too hard into the Medea character, and then he sort of turned his stories that were interesting into sort of jokes, and it became more of a Big Mama's house than it did these stories about people who have gone through things, and using his character sort of as a supporting. Medea ended up becoming the star, when Medea should have been the star of those films. Medea should have always been like a side character, if actually never really existed, I would have preferred, but certainly never the lead of any of those films. And then somewhere along the way, Medea started becoming the lead of her films, and then they started just sucking, just really bad. But Tyler Perry really can do bad all by himself. Here, because it's someone else, it's fine. Like, it's good. This is a good movie that Netflix has put out. And I think this is a film that everybody can watch. You can watch with the family. There aren't like torrid sex scenes like Tyler's been putting in some of his movies, like Mea Culpa. Not for the family. It's not for the family. I've seen it. You don't want to watch that with the kids. I don't care if you think that Tyler Perry makes Christian entertainment. He changed that, and he makes all entertainment now. And the Tyler Perry name does not necessarily mean faith-based anymore. But here we're back with an adaptation of a Bible story, and no, they didn't make it like, you know, sexually explicit. So yeah, you can kind of sit down with everybody and watch it. I mean, there's a little bit of violence, but it's nothing like over the top. So this would not get an R rating. I don't know what it's rated, but I'm assuming it's not R. And I like the acting. I don't know who most of these people are. I thought Soraya was a really good singer. I assume she is one. Otherwise, the audacity, you know, of being a single-named, sort of rather unknown actress and just walking into auditions and being like, I'm Soraya. And people are like, who are you? Do you have a last name? No. I'm already at that status where there can only be one of me. I'm already Highlandering my way through life. No, I think she's probably a singer that I'm just not familiar with because I don't listen to a whole lot of current music. I guess at some point when you get old, you just keep listening to the same things that you were already, like, you've reached a maximum capacity in your brain for the music and the artists that you love and listen to. And I don't know, I'm not as current as I should be with some of the newer artists. So I try to seek them out. I might listen to some of Soraya's stuff later on. Like I try to seek them out when somebody's big and listen to be like, oh, what is this chaperone that you talk about? Let's find out. Let's listen to this Pink Pony Club that oh, well, this is fine, and when you make the effort. So I'll make the effort. She has some good songs in here. Not all of them are hers. She's singing a lot of covers at karaoke bars and stuff, but um, I think she's got a good voice. So I don't really have anything negative to say here, but I will acknowledge that this is not an excellent film. It's not a great film. It's not in contention for Best Picture. I'm not expecting Netflix to launch a campaign for it. None of that. But this is just a perfectly fine movie, and this should be good enough. For a lot of critics, it won't be. For a lot of critics, they're going to compare it up against, the kinds of things that they saw at Cannes this year. And it's like, sure, but also it's like apples to oranges, comparing Ruth and Boaz to something like Anatomy of a Fall. Those are two wildly different movies trying to do two completely different things from two different countries. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not the same. They're not trying to achieve the same thing or do the same thing. So if you take Ruth and Boaz into sort of its wheelhouse and think about, okay, so like-minded films, what is this doing? Well, it's better than some other faith-based films I've seen this year, like The Unbreakable Boy, which is like weirdly offensive to autistic kids. And just the kind of things that we normally get. I think this is above this is in the rising to the top. This is the cream that has risen. He has risen. So I liked it enough. Sure, it can be open to criticism, but also at the same time, I'd really like to encourage Tyler Perry to do more of this, because I'd like to see less of his films. And it's not saying I never want to see him again, but he is clearly overextending himself. And if he doesn't stop overextending himself, he'll never get it back. Any talent that he ever had, he'll never get it back if he's trying to direct 4 movies a year. Like, his output is insane. He has a crazy output. It's ridiculous. And it's starting to show in the quality of films when he makes them. I did like Straw, but like the rest of his films this year have been terrible, and his films last year were terrible. So his consistency rate is just, he's building up a whole bunch of deeply forgettable streaming movies, and I don't know that that's the legacy that he wants to leave behind. So if he directs less and instead allows his Tyler Perry Studios to start featuring directors like this woman, then I think we'll all be better for it. So I'm gonna go fresh on this and send a message to Tyler Perry that this is exactly where he needs to be doing, exactly the kind of thing he needs to be making. So I'm giving Ruth and Boaz a 6.4 out of 10. Welcome to fresh Ruth and Boaz. It's lower than I gave Straw because Taraji P. Henson is just on fire in that movie, but that's like a whole different thing. And maybe Alana will get to work with Taraji one day. Maybe after this film, Taraji will be like, you know what, I really liked Ruth and Boaz, and I think we should work together. And then that can be the next movie. And from there, they keep making, she becomes a better director. But she got her start because Tyler Perry gave her a shot and championed her and pushed her forward. So do more of this. Please, Tyler, please. Thank you. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the other side.